the Saudi Arabian Crown Prince, Mohammed bin Salman, said that Israel and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is moving closer toward a normalization deal every day. He said, every day we get closer. And he called it the biggest historical deal since the end of the Cold War. So it certainly seems as though this is on the radar of Saudi Arabia. Israel has also articulated it. I think the center of this and whether or not it is going to happen is regarding the situation of the Palestinians. That is high up in the priority in terms of any Saudi Arabian expectations. They said, if we have a breakthrough of reaching a deal that give the Palestinians their needs and make the region calm, we're going to work with whoever is there. He added, stressing that he wants to see a good life for the Palestinians. You can make that as you can interpret that a whole number of ways. It has been suggested that they might expect a Palestinian state, but they might not actually. That seems to be quite a loose request. So,
and also for the Crown Prince to be the one making this statement is actually a big positive, because I mean, he's very positive that it's going forward and it's on the table, which means that actually there probably has been some discussions, some negotiations, and they're, getting towards an agreement.
Yeah, absolutely. And he also denied the fact that Saudi Arabia, there's reports that Saudi Arabia had asked Washington to freeze normalization talks with Israel, but he completely denies that and has suggested that they are still all open to it. But the way it links to Iran is because in the same interview, bin Salman also said that if Iran were to develop nuclear weapons, Saudi Arabia would, quote, have to get one.
Right.
So you could really see how this could escalate. If Iran is allowed to have a nuclear weapon, Saudi Arabia have said that they will have to get one as well.
Yeah, it will spark an arms race, basically.
An arms race. And in the center of this is a potential peace deal between Israel and Saudi Arabia, which Iran will detest. So I think it's just good to be observing and really perhaps not to try and second guess too much about what the next thing will be, except as watchmen on the walls to be aware that if it's going to happen, it's going to happen in the Middle East. So we need to keep our eyes on what is materializing and what is best for Israel.
That's right.
That is that's the core of it.
Because to get there's that pull between sort of the political side of things and the spiritual side from our perspective, where it would be nice to see peace between Saudi Arabia and Israel, but ultimately we don't want Israel to be conceding ground which it shouldn't concede, or going too far in its concessions. And so, we just need to pray for wisdom for Israel's leaders, pray that the right solution will happen, and ultimately pray for the protection of Israel, because, anything that Israel does when it comes to their security, when it comes to with the Palestinian territories and so forth, there is a security risk to Israel. Actually, a peace deal with Saudi Arabia could buy time for Israel to have a time of peace, whereas at the moment there is an escalation of tensions. There are, lots of things happening within the Palestinian territories of terrorism against Israel. Actually, the Saudi deal could actually prompt the Palestinians to stop what they're doing and actually have a time of peace. But will that be at a concession to Israel's sovereignty? Will it concede, what God has said about Israel? It's all those sorts of things. And so we just have to be prayerful about it, because it's,
definitely. And certainly when looking at sort of the threat from the north, which we reiterated before, it's sort of the key area in terms of biblical understanding of the threats towards Israel. It certainly is. We're living in very interesting times when we consider that Iran is on the brink of having a nuclear weapon, and there are other parties which are waking up, or not waking up, I'm sure they're already aware, but are now have an invested interest and Israel is at the very center
Yeah.
of all of this.
Yeah, exactly.
So, very interesting times indeed.
Yeah.